Welcome to Lime with Us, where we're gonna talk some shit
Yeah.
and mess it up. Take it from the top, tippy top. Let's go. What we
Let's
got
go.
today?
So today we got Venezuela in the news again, right? So I woke up to this morning and it says the seized Venezuelan President plane. They
Who
got it in
seized the plane?
US government
The U.S.
seized.
government seized. What's the president of? He said he on the plane.
No, he wasn't on the plane.
Oh,
He
okay.
wasn't on the plane. So what we gonna do? We gonna run it, get some context, and we have our dialogue on the back end. But yeah, we're taking this source from CNN, and we'll see you on the
All
opposite
right.
side.
Let me
All right.
hear.
So
Let
let's
me
run it.
see this.
Breaking news, some exclusive live pictures that we're showing you right now of the seized plane belonging to Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Maduro, we should note, is not on board, but the plane was seized by officials for violating U.S. sanctions. CNN's Kylie Atwood joins me now. Kylie, this is pretty extraordinary. This does not happen, obviously, every day where U.S. authorities go in and seize the plane of a head of state. But that is essentially what's happened this morning. Can you break this down for us?
Yeah, exactly. So the plane of Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, is now in the hands of the United States. As you can see there, those images demonstrate that it has just landed in Florida. It was seized by U.S. authorities in the Dominican Republic. That is according to multiple U.S. officials who spoke with our colleague Priscilla Alvarez about this. And how this all came to fruition, Jim, is that this plane was in the Dominican Republic in recent months. We don't know exactly why, but that presented the opportunity for U.S. authorities to work with authorities in the Dominican Republic to actually make up a plan and seize the plane. And just to give folks context, this plane is effectively the Air Force One of Venezuela. This is a plane that cost about $13 million, the U.S. estimates. It's been used by Maduro to travel around the world, to make visits, to see other world leaders and the like. It's now in the hands of the U.S. government. It's an extraordinary move. The U.S. has for years been trying to disrupt the flow of goods and finances, money going into Venezuela. For example, they have disrupted luxury cars going into the country. But we should note that this is just such a bold move because, according to one of those U.S. officials who spoke with our colleague, this is unheard of and sends a signal that no one is out of the reach of U.S. sanctions. So they clearly had their eye on this plane for a while that was being used by the president of Venezuela, and now it is in U.S. custody. Now, the process here is that now that it is in the United States, Venezuela can petition for the plane. So we'll watch and see what happens there. But also, the United States can collect evidence from the plane. We just saw some folks heading into the plane, U.S. authorities heading in there with what appeared to be a recording device. They'll be able to collect evidence in terms of what the president of Venezuela was doing potentially on that plane. We'll watch and see how this all unfolds. Jim?
Yeah, Kylie, we do want to emphasize to our viewers.
So let's switch back. We ain't gonna watch the whole clip of that, but yeah.
Listen,
I got some questions.
do we got that type of authority to go to somebody else's country and take something? Like, in the country that gave it up, does that leave a black eye on that country?
Good question. And that's kind of my same sentiments is.
And the other thing is, what grounds do they have? I don't see. I don't want to. You know what? We gonna talk. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna say what we linemen. I don't see them tracking down Putin. I don't see them arresting his ass. I don't see them. You know what I'm saying?
Netanyahu.
Yeah, he just left the White House.
But that's the thing is, like, you see it going on in a world stage where you see stuff happening, they don't intervene.
No.
But Venezuela?
What has Venezuela done? Because Trump's been going ace shit on Venezuela too. Because under his administration, he put like a couple of sanctions on them. And what he did something to them that I forgot exactly what it was. But he ain't down with them either because the whole oil stuff.
Yeah, man. Some to
But
me, go ahead.
what? No, no. I'm trying to figure out what they got against Venezuela, like other than the sanctions and stuff they've been putting on Venezuela. Now, is it because they're unjust to the people of the country why a lot of this happened?
I don't know. I don't know. I
Because
don't know.
I remember there was some like humanitarian. Because remember a few years ago, well, what's a few years ago, but ever since Chavez died, Venezuela's been in disarray,
Yes, yes, yes.
and there were like things going on within the country because they're like communists, super communists now. So they seem like there was a lot of unhumane stuff going on within the country that the other governments didn't like. So they stopped sharing product and things with them. Now, is the president of Venezuela wanted for some crime or something?
So what I could say is I think the election was rigged. And I don't think they see him as the rightful president. Um it's one of those things like any third world country, somebody win the election or rigged it or whatever they have,
Mm.
but
So they see him
um
as another Saddam.
something of that nature, but I can't say with 100% certainty. But I know the
Mm.
election was it had something to do with the election,
Okay.
right? So
I
that's
do
one of the
remember that now. I do remember.
yeah.
So you think he falsely rigged it?
I don't know. So I wasn't following it closely to make that claim out front, but can't understand that nature with US and Venezuela because US has been in the I mean not US, the Venezuela has been in the news lately and it's like a buzzword, right? Venezuelan this, Venezuelan that. And I'm
Right.
trying to understand what is the correlation between the US and Venezuela
Oil.
because I understand the oil, but the oil ain't doing us no good right now.
Yes, it is. They pumping it through Trinidad and Guyana.
Okay, but that could be,
That's
but
why
think
they need
about it.
that's why they need fracking to be legal.
But even that, their country is unstable. Majority of the people are coming to the U.S.
Yeah, but there's the thing is Venezuela's always gonna be Venezuela. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
Now, there's a lot of they sit on a lot of oil, so they're very important to that part of the region. It's the thing is they need to find the right government to control the oil
I gotta
because
give it that. Yeah.
and that's what they're upset about because communists went more communist instead of democratic. That's what a lot of these other countries are upset with because Venezuela is basically trading with other people, you know what I mean? And they don't like that.
Okay.
So I think they're trying to gain control of that because remember when this war started in Ukraine, half of Europe is still using Russian oil. So they couldn't totally cut Russia off because they needed Russia oil right before the winter. So if what we look at Syria and US is on shit terms, right? So who else do you turn to? Venezuela. They sits on the best crude oil in the world. But because they're at war with Venezuela, I'm not sure. Was it Trump that started the shit with Venezuela? I think it might have been Trump
Okay.
that
Okay.
started up the yeah, I think it was him. So when Biden became president, he was trying to negotiate with Venezuela, but they was already on the sanctions. Trump put sanctions on them. It was over the oil.
So that's probably why we got a lot of migrants coming in from that
Yes.
part of the region. Because he's trying to undo or redo whatever Trump did. You got some there, you got some there. I'm not fully aware, but
Well, you see, the thing is, right? Understanding the way politics works, it's like when you walk into the subway in New York, right? And see those little people with the shells and the cups,
yeah,
and they're moving it, and you can never find it. That's how politics is. What
yep,
you see isn't always what reality is.
true.
And just because you see it now doesn't mean it wasn't planted 4 years ago. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because the thing is, when you become president, there's things you can write and leave behind that the next person can't undo, depending on how good you did it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the pen's stroke is the most important thing when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
anything in the world. You know,
Cool,
you have a
cool,
good
cool.
pen, you can make a rapper be a pedophile. You know, if you have a good pen, you can write a play on Broadway. You have a good pen, you could be in Hollywood. You know what I mean? Or you could be taking it from Diddy, no matter where you are. Pause.
Take that, take that, take that.
Yes, exactly. So but it's man, it's a lot of angles to it. But
Okay.
my thing is, how can okay, I could understand if the plane was on a US territory, right? But how can the US go to another country, another island, which is not their territory, and take something from somebody? So does that mean the country that gave up the plane is also against Venezuela for what they've been doing?
Well, not necessarily. Well,
So now
it's
that
one of
now does that
the
put them at risk with Venezuela for future commerce?
well, you sometimes you're well, I'm assuming that they were holding the Dominican Republic to a certain thing, and they probably negotiated with them or something like that. Knowing this administration, they would probably negotiate something, or they probably wanted a plane, and they talked, because they did say, I looked at another segment, and they did say Dominican Republic helped them in this effort. So it wasn't like, they just went over there and took it. But it for me, I do see there's an underlying issue going on, and it could be something of a next war. I'm not an alarmist or anything like that, but you could see the fueling of something
Yeah.
else. Um, because this is like out of left field. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like
It's another distraction, you think, right?
Venezuela. It's like this. One of the things that I look at, and I'm like, yo, they gave Ukraine's billion. I mean trillions, not billions. I gotta correct myself. Trillions of dollars. Why
Mhm.
were they doing that? Right? The goal for the US is like this. They make money off of wars. You go to
Oh
college, you
yeah,
learn, you learn that, or history, you learn.
true.
US is a supplier. They supply arms to the world. Once you understand that in a broader scope, you understand wars is how they make their money. It's like, yo, they give you credit. They give you credit. But I don't want to get too deep into that, because that's not where I'm versed in or anything. But that's
Nah,
one thing I did learn from in college. US make money off of wars. But this one
yep,
was
true
just
that.
left field, and just understanding, I was like, Venezuela, why would they take all of that? Why would they take all of that? So take the planes from Venezuela. But
Yeah, that's what I've said. It doesn't make sense to me because doesn't well, Venezuela know they have the plane
yeah,
because
they do.
they
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 do.
did add like they did have a travel advisory for US citizens flying to Venezuela.
Oh, they did.
Oh yeah, they had that when I went down to Tobago in June, I was reading reports and there was yeah, you have to fill out paperwork to fly there.
Wow, wow, wow. When
Yeah.
you could just get on a boat for 15 seconds.
Well, that's what I was saying. I can go there from Tobago. They wouldn't mess
Yeah,
with me because I have a
yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago passport. But when I get back to the States, they will be able to tell that I went to Venezuela.
No, but I'm saying, we already know how easy it is to get into
Oh,
Venezuela.
of course.
That's what I'm saying. You could just
Yeah,
get on a
it's seven
boat.
it's 7 miles on one side and 11 miles on the other.
Yeah, but getting in and getting out, that's a whole different thing, but
But I could just get on an airplane and fly over there, fly into Caracas.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like two different airlines that fly over there from Trinidad.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. I can fly from Trinidad to over there, but I think I'm gonna get hit when I'm coming back here. And they'd be like, "Oh, you went to Venezuela," and they pull out the gloves on me.
Yeah.
But I
Uh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna finish it off by saying I don't know what they're starting. I don't know if something is started or where this came from. Like because now they kind of put the target on Americans.
Nah,
Diplomats. You know, is
nah,
because okay, who's Venezuela's who's siding with Venezuela?
I'm not too sure, but it's like this. This is a straight tactic of big, big bang. You know what I'm saying? They got enough money to mess around with Venezuela. Care regardless of who you are. It's like the big bully or the big boy on the block. He could do whatever he want. You see, they're strategic with Russia.
So we're Russia and Venezuela's Ukraine.
Nah, not really. See, Ukraine. See, last week or a month ago, not last week, a month ago, Ukraine was taking over areas in Russia.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But that didn't make the news as much. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh, it
you
did.
look at it.
But a lot of stuff was going on at that same time. They took a
Think
lot of
about
land.
Yeah, but think about it. Could Venezuela? Well, the question will be posed: can Venezuela really put up a fight with the U.S.?
Nah.
Exactly.
You
Now
know,
think about
they could if they wanted to, but they're not organized enough.
they don't. They can't. They can't.
Nah.
They can't. They don't have the artillery. They don't have. I'm just assuming. I'm talking out loud for how big the United States and how small Venezuela is.
Yeah. Well, Venezuela is a good size, but I don't even think they could fight with some of these Caribbean islands.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Even our military is pretty big now, yo.
Yeah, but
They've been
the go ahead. Yeah,
No, I was just gonna say for a country that big, they should have a decent military. Because
I'm not saying they're not.
it seemed like they
Yeah,
want to push on Guyana and push them around.
but I'm just saying they're you know what I'm saying, even though they do have a military. Think about it, man. They can't. It's like they can't even fight with the U.S. Man,
Nah.
all the U.S. got to do is send a couple SEAL Team 6. But we getting too much in the weeds right now. We getting
Yeah.
into speculations. But yeah, do you think it was right for the U.S. to go to that next country
Dominican
and
Republic.
take that plane? And
I don't think it
we,
was right.
yeah, something is a little fishy about that one.
Yeah.
But
I didn't like that. And who is that call coming from? Is that coming from like well, first we got to find out why they wanted to seize the plane.
because intelligence, they get to track and they get to see the wreckage of where the plane been. They get to get the it's like the black box on the plane. They get to get the
So they plan
recordings,
on
the
returning
audio.
it
Not really. They don't really care about the plane.
because
Some report
the lady kind of said that they might be working out some deal, some trade deal
Well, they did a trade deal before. Well, true, they
to
could be
get the
working out
plane
a
back.
trade. Yeah, probably. But somebody said the plane in one of the reports was the plane was gained illegally, and I think something to that extent where I can't go into it because I didn't verify it, so I can't fully say. But it's
Because it doesn't make sense that Air Force One is flying without the president
well,
because
that's their
they said that's his Air Force One type of plane.
true.
So did he send the plane to do some dirty work?
Well, I don't know. I can't say. Leave your thoughts, your comments down below.
Hey, you always bring them from left field, but it's things that we got to talk about.
True, true, true.
Sometimes
Definitely.
you don't expect it, but it's gonna hit you right in the face. So when we see something coming from left field, shit,
We're gonna talk about it.
we're gonna talk
So
about it.
definitely thank you for living with us. Leave the thoughts, comments down below. Thank you.
Oh.